Hello, welcome to Story Hot Africa, based on a true African tale. A story of kindness, faith, and miracles. In the heart of Lagos, where the streets never sleep and the traffic hums like a restless song, there was a bakery called Sweet Dreams. It was a small but famous place. Every morning, sweet smells of bread, cakes, and pastries filled the air. People came from all over to buy warm loaves, fluffy cupcakes, and soft donuts. The bakery had many workers, some baked, some served, some cleaned. And among them was a woman who always carried an old, torn handbag. Her name was Amoka. Nobody knew much about her. She didn't talk much. She came early, left late, always with that same broken brown bag, patched many times with old cloth and thread. People whispered, "Why doesn't she buy a new bag? Doesn't she get tired?" But Amoka only smiled when they asked. She was a cleaner. Every day she wiped the glass shelves, swept the floors, and cleaned the kitchen long after the bakers had left, but what nobody saw was that Amoka always asked for leftover bread at night. Not once, not twice, every night, for months. One day, the owner of the bakery, Mrs. Is, noticed this. Mrs. Is was a kind but busy woman. She had built Sweet Dreams from nothing. Now she had staff, 2 delivery vans, and long lines of customers every morning. But she was also sharp-eyed. She noticed that Amoka always waited until everyone left before going to the back and politely asking, "Please, Ma, is there any leftover bread today?" Mrs. E started to wonder. Why doesn't she ask for money? Why does she always take bread? One cold rainy evening, after a long day of serving customers, Mrs. Is decided to stay late and observe. She sat quietly in her office. The bakery was almost empty. The lights were low. The smell of sugar and yeast still floated in the air. Through the window, she saw Amoka take out her parched brown bag and go to the kitchen. Softly, Amoka asked the kitchen staff, "Please, is there leftover bread today?" A baker smiled and gave her 3 small loaves. "Here you go, Auntie Amoka." Thank you so much," Amoka said, and placed them carefully inside her bag. Mrs. Is felt something stir in her heart. Where is this woman going every night with only bread? That night, curiosity won. Quietly, in her small car, Mrs. Is followed Amoka after she left. The rain fell softly. The street lights flickered. Amoka walked fast, covering her head with an old scarf. She didn't notice the car trailing behind her. After about 20 minutes, she turned off the main road and entered a narrow street. There were no fancy houses here. Just old buildings with broken windows and cracked walls. At the far end, Amoka stopped in front of a small wooden house. The roof was patched with plastic sheets. The door looked like it might fall any day. She knocked gently. A tiny voice called out, "Mama." The door opened. 2 small children, no older than 5 and 7, ran into her arms. "Mama, you're home." Amoka knelt down, hugging them tightly. "My darlings, I brought food." From the car, hidden by the shadows, Mrs. Is watched, her heart tightening. Those are her children. Amoka went inside, lit a small lamp, and placed the bread on a clean cloth on the floor. The children grabbed the bread joyfully. "Thank you, Mama. We were so hungry." But Amoka did not eat. She sat with them, stroking their hair, smiling as they ate with bright eyes. Tears filled Mrs. Is's eyes. She works so hard, and only takes bread home to feed her children, and she never eats. That night, Mrs. Is drove home in silence. She couldn't sleep. Her mind kept replaying the scene, the broken house, the happy children, Amoka sitting silently, watching them. The next morning, she called her manager. "Bring Amoka to my office." Amoka came in nervously. "Good morning, Ma." Mrs. Is looked at her gently. "Sit down, Amoka." She hesitated, then Saturday there was a long pause. Then, Mrs. Is said softly, "I followed you last night." Amoka's face turned pale. "Ma, I didn't mean. I just..." "Sure," Mrs. Is said, raising her hand. "You did nothing wrong. You are a good mother. You work hard. and you ask for nothing but bread. Why didn't you tell us about your situation? Amoka's eyes filled with tears. Ma, I didn't want pity. My husband died 2 years ago in an accident. I have no family here. I couldn't afford school fees or a good home. I just needed to feed my children. She wiped her tears quickly. I didn't want to beg, Ma. I just wanted to work and earn what I could. For a moment, both women were silent. Then, Mrs. E stood up. You touched my heart, Amoka. And I want to help you. Amoka looked up, eyes wide. From today, you are no longer a cleaner. You are now my personal assistant. You will receive a better salary. Amoka gasped. Ma. I can't believe. Also, continued Mrs. Is, I have arranged for you and your children to move into a clean apartment. No more broken roof, no more cold nights. And your children will start attending a good school. All expenses paid for the first year. Amoka burst into tears. Ma. God bless you. I don't know what to say. You deserve this, Amoka. You are strong, hardworking, and a good mother. Now, go home early today. Start preparing to move. Amoka stood up and fell to her knees. Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. May God bless you and your family. That afternoon, a black car came to pick up Amoka and her children. As they entered their new apartment, with clean walls, soft beds, and a working kitchen, the children screamed with joy, Mama. We have our own beds. Mama, the roof is not leaking. Amoka stood in the middle of the room, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, Lord, thank you. She hugged her children tightly. From now on, she whispered, things will be better. Weeks passed. Amoka worked as a personal assistant now. She wore smart clothes and carried a new bag, a simple but strong one. But she kept the old brown bag in her wardrobe. It reminds me where we came from, she told her children. And how God can change any story. Every evening, after work, Amoka returned to her new home. The children ran to hug her, their faces bright, their bellies full. How was school today? She would ask. Good, Mama. We learned new songs. And they would sing and laugh together in their small but happy home. One day, at the bakery staff meeting, Mrs. Is shared Amoka's story. She looked at her staff and said, sometimes the person walking quietly beside you carries a heavy burden. Be kind. Be patient. You never know what someone is going through. The staff nodded, some with tears in their eyes. From that day, Sweet Dreams Bakery became a little different. People smiled more. They greeted each other warmly. And whenever someone needed help, hands were extended without judgment. Dear reader, this story is simple but powerful. It teaches us that kindness can change a life. Amoka didn't steal. She didn't beg. She worked hard and prayed. And in time, her quiet strength touched the heart of someone who could help. And Mrs. Is. She chose to see, to act, and to lift someone up. You can do the same. Look around you. That cleaner, that guard, that vendor, maybe they're carrying a burden you can't see. One small act of kindness, a kind word, a helping hand, can light up a whole family's life. What did you learn from this story? Please share your thoughts in the comments, and remember, there's another inspiring story coming soon. Subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you'll be the first to watch. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and share it with your friends and loved ones. Thank you so much for reading. Stay kind. Stay blessed.